Ladies and gentlemen, our final speaker, the tradition of DevDays, the wrap-up by Grahame Grieve, the man who needs no introduction but deserves a very lengthy one. He moves as easily among policymakers and among developers. I think he's one of the few developers who even politicians listen to. You'll always see him in jeans. You will always see him with his laptop open. And if you look over his shoulder, what do you see? PowerPoint? No. You'll see code. Ladies and gentlemen, you will see the PowerPoint by Grahame Grieve now, the father of FHIR. Give him a warm welcome.
All right, thanks everybody. So, it's a pleasure every year on my wedding anniversary to be in Amsterdam. Actually, I just found out a few minutes ago that next year DevDays is going to be a few days later, so I'm going to be home for my wedding anniversary. That's a big win for me. But anyway, it's good to be here in Amsterdam once again at really what is a wonderful meeting. I was going to say it's my favourite meeting, but then I get in trouble with other meetings. But it's a great meeting. And so I thought I'd start with being Dutch. And so the thing was, I was planning next year to bring my family to DevDays and do a few more days in Europe while we were here. And then FHIR gave us these cards. And the cards are really good. And people kept telling me about them. So everybody's looked at them, yeah? Okay. Gee, you guys are a really responsive audience. And the thing is, the problem is that my children watch me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like this. So people give me swag or take photos of me or make stinking calendars, and I can't hide it from my family because my kids watch it on the internet. And then I get home and they go, Dad, we've got to see it, Dad. So they're going to get home and they're going to say, I'm going to get home and they're going to say, we've got to see these cards. And I was looking through the cards and I saw this. My younger daughter is an extremely fussy eater. And you've got to look at this picture from an Australian point of view. These are a well-known Australian delicacy, enjoyed only by people who've got nothing else to eat. But people do actually eat witchetty grubs in Australia. And that's immediately what I thought of when I saw these Hergelslag, whatever they are. All right, anyway, welcome to the Netherlands. All right. So a few things administrative in nature. We had the opportunity to donate some money towards growing some trees. Now, I was a bit surprised by this because here all you had an opportunity to make the FHIR team go out and get their hands dirty. I thought we might have a little bit more contributions, and it's not too late. But as of today, Rian's team will be planting 224 trees after this. But as I said, you still have the opportunity to get his team to get their hands a little bit more dirty yet. Okay, some thanks. Is Marita in the room? Hands up, Marita and the blue shirt team. So Marita's team is the event organizer team who are responsible for keeping everything running smoothly and without any problems. And once again, it's been a great meeting. Thank you, Marita and team. All right, and now all the FHIR people in the room, hands up. Well, there's two of them. I guess we'll have to give them... Oh, no, here they come. They're coming in. They're hanging out the back there. Yay. All right. I've enjoyed the meeting. We started off with a big bang with that wonderful formal presentation from Ewart on Wednesday morning, which didn't last. So that was good. I really enjoyed the social event and the keynotes. Is Janet in the room? Janet is not in the room. She is. Hello there, Janet. That was a great, really heartfelt personal introduction to what we're doing here, which I'm going to pick up on. Dave, of course, is here. Dave. Thank you, Dave, for coming and dealing with all the time zone issues and encouraging us to focus again on patient empowerment. And I really enjoyed having Martin here, an awesome catch, and Martin and Ian both stimulated me to think harder about how we achieve our long-term goals. So those have been really good. I've wished that I could get more technical sessions. It's been a really busy meeting, so it's been great. Okay. And this, what we're doing matters. So here we are, another card, legacy standards. When I first got involved with HL7, most of you probably think there was never a time when I was not, but I can tell you that I've not been involved as long as Lloyd. We were working on V3. We were working really hard on V3. It didn't matter how hard we worked on V3, it was always going to be us that were working hard on V3. Legacy standards, the thing is, standards matter. And it's, one of the things I'd love to do is have more people understand the value of standards. Why we as a group have our hand on a lever that can move the world. A standard, some standards are doomed to failure and some standards enable an amazing transformation. And every day I think, how do we make sure FHIR is a standard that enables transformation? But meetings like this are where we keep verifying and validating that that's the path we're on. And so for us, if we build a community, and this has been a regular theme of the meeting because that is our regular theme, we build a community and then we make something real from that community. We build the ability to transform healthcare. And as we go, the community itself is transformed. And a lot of people said to me over the last few days about how this meeting feels different to our previous Dev Days. So we started with 250 newbies, first time at a Dev Days conference. And you know, sometimes you don't know how that's going to go because you've got so many people who are first-time participants. A couple of people have commented to me, a couple of the regulars have said, the new people who are first time at Dev Days are not newbies with FHIR. They really understand FHIR really well, and so we're having really mature conversations about what we need to do, how to learn, and that reflects the community as a whole is maturing. We're getting more different kinds of people participating. It's part of our growth. I did want to note that this year I decided that I was going to recognise a most valuable contributor to the Dev Days as a whole. And I did a quick run around of some of those who've been here the longest, and we all agreed on who that would be. I do hope that person's in the room here. But most significantly, I believe that person's a newbie. That was pretty cool. Mikhail from Finland, are you in the room? Come up here, Mikhail. Thank you very much. That's all. For a variety of reasons, including the kind of contributions, the work he's doing in Finland, the technical contributions, Michael was a clear, most valuable contributor this week. Thank you, Michael. And man, I really want to go and live in Finland. Those guys in Finland are really pushing the limit in ways we all can aspire to. Or maybe I'm misled by Finland, they just have great advertising. But the projects are really cool. All right. So the foundation from the beginning of our community has been our connectathons. From the very first connectathon, which was Awad and myself talking about how we should do this, to where we are today with 300 plus participants in Dev Days and Connectathons and our ongoing virtual Connectathon, which is continuous. And it's that makes this real, and let's just make a real difference. And that's the key thing, is to stay focused on leading transformation from below. And I'm really enjoying seeing the community mature and move in that direction. A key part of what we do is dealing with pain in the us issues. Administrative gender, anybody? I have one more that I would have added to this list, which is modifier. And sometimes when new people come to the community and they find there's things that we can't get lined up on, and sometimes new people in the community think that that's a problem with the community, it's a problem for us, but actually that's our essence, is to bite off those really hard issues where there's valid perspectives on how things should be done differently and find some compromise that everybody can live with. And that is the value that we actually bring, is the world is full of disagreement. You might have noticed. And in at least one little area, we're able to forge enough of a consensus about a compromise and get everybody to buy into that. That's our value. And then what we can do is, as an open community, we can treasure that. We can protect it and publish it and say it's a commitment to everybody that we keep that and grow that. And then it becomes community treasure that everybody owns. That's, at the end of the day, that's what we do, is have those arguments, come to some compromise that we can agree on, and then treasure that. And of course, everybody who comes to FHIR knows, and lots of people say to me, that things could be much better in some specific ways. But as long as my feedback is basically balanced, it could be better in this way, and the next person says in the other way, then, we're probably pretty much in the middle, and that's okay. As an interop standard, it's never quite as convenient as my own choices would be, but as an interop standard, I've bought into everybody's choices, which is way more powerful. It has cost me more up front. It's basically the standards value proposition, just in a nutshell. And that is sometimes painful, and sometimes countries pull back from that and go, hang on, I didn't really agree to all the consequences of those standardisations. But hopefully sense will return at the country level soon, maybe. And hopefully we will keep going on that path to protect it. Now, Rian said to me that I had to say that FHIR stands for far harder in real life. That's not what it stands for. Although it's true. When I started out, and a little group of us formed that became loosely called the core team, as much as that exists. When we started out, we said we wanted to do three things. We wanted to transform healthcare standards. We wanted to transform healthcare IT, and we wanted to transform healthcare. And we pretty much transformed healthcare standards. Even the non-FHIR standards have transformed the way they behave. Much more focused on outcomes, much more focused on making it real, building community, delivering connectathons, making it happen. And we all win, whether we're using FHIR or not. We're all winning because of that. FHIR is not the solution for everything, but the other standards are going, we've got to do that too. It's great. It's not magic, right? That's what everybody outside healthcare is doing. It's not like we invented something entirely new here. So we transformed healthcare IT standards. And we're in the business of transforming healthcare IT. I remember when I was first starting on FHIR, I went to some very large US-based EHR vendors who I don't need to name, and said, could you at least tell us what you think about the standard at the technical level? Could you at least tell us if you think it's not working? Could we set up a secret reporting channel so that you could talk to us in secret to tell us what you really think? And people at HL7 were like, that won't happen. And then they were like, that won't happen. And now they're chairs and they're leading at the front saying, this is what we do. Total transformation. And the market is in the business of transforming as well. The kind of relationships that are being created, the kind of products that are being created. I want to point out to you that when in the past a company like Microsoft decided that it wanted to get into healthcare, it went out and it bought full stack healthcare applications that provided an entire healthcare application. That's what we do. It's a viciously hard job. It takes 15 years to bid something down and start making a profit. And they always get to 7, 8, 10 years and go, it's too hard, and pull the project. But now they're coming and saying, here's our niche value. This is what we do. This is what we're good at. We can actually have a impact on healthcare without having to do everything, because the interop, we expect it's going to be there. That's not only FHIR, but FHIR's part of that picture. So we've transformed healthcare IT. The changes are not done yet, but you can see that we're all sliding towards a different place. Now we tend to transform healthcare itself. When I talk about coordinated care, collaborative care, about information flows in healthcare that are broken. Everybody who works in healthcare knows these things. Everybody's a patient. Sometimes we don't prioritise being a patient until someone like Dave comes along and reminds us that when you get sick, that is the only thing that matters. But that's, in the end, what I need to change. I go around the world and I talk about disruption. And a lot of my audience hears disruption and says, they think about billion-dollar companies collapsing and new ones being created. I don't care about that. There needs to be companies because we need to get paid and healthcare is expensive. So companies will continue to exist, and it doesn't matter whether they're new ones or the same ones. So the disruption I'm interested in is the stuff Arjen was talking about disrupting the healthcare process, fixing the broken information paths, and we are actually best situated to smooth the path on that. Actually, we don't do that. We need clinical champions, but they can't do it without us. So it's our job to get out there and find them people who want to fix healthcare and say, hey, we can make it happen for you. And so I'd like it to be that FHIR really stands for the Family of Healthcare Interoperability Revolutionaries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, brothers and sisters, the family of Interop. Anyone has that question that you always wanted to ask to Grahame Grieve? This is your opportunity.
Oh no, this is dangerous.
Who has a question? Well, maybe I have one to start off.
Yeah, they're afraid of me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, they don't buy the family stuff. So I have a question.
Okay.
It says easy to understand. Do you agree? Do you still agree now that we're... How many resources are there?
You know, when I was getting started, there was this rule out on the internet about this, the 5-5-5 rule. It was 5 seconds to find the standard, 5 minutes to understand the standard, 5 minutes to get something going. And we always aspired to be that 5-5-5. But there was always another 5. 5 years to begin to understand healthcare. And FHIR's big, and there's lots of stuff in the stack, and there's lots of breadth in the resources. But if you want to do something simple, it's still simple. I feel as though we're still there, although I feel we could do better at that. But healthcare is never going to be easy. And actually, that's a value proposition for everyone in this room.
Thank you. Any other questions? Maybe from the startups. I mean, FHIR was just, you say doesn't matter if there's new companies or the same companies, but I think FHIR is an excellent opportunity. I mean, we wouldn't have been here without FHIR, and we had 5 startups yesterday. Is there anyone from the startups here? Yeah. I see. Yeah, with the winners. So maybe you wouldn't have been here without FHIR, right? Or is that...
I mean, FHIR's great for startups, but why only startups? It's great for everybody. Am I wrong? Shouldn't it be? Right? It should be good for everybody.
So who here is with a company that's been around for, let's say, more than 10 years? Okay. 20? 30? 40? 50? Oh, wow.
Some of these left the hospitals have been going for 100 years plus.
So I think you're right. It's for everyone. So thanks, Grahame, and let's have the farewell drinks, folks. Everyone, thank you very much, and don't forget your stroopwafels.